This assignment really pushed me. When I was looking at current legal and ethical codes, I first and foremost went to my district policy. I wanted to see what they had. I wanted to examine it and analyze it and maybe annotate it and give some recommendations for the library and see if there can be some adjustments that were made. What I was most shocked about was there is barely anything in our district policy. So, the assignment that I have included in this portfolio is the beginning of board policy that I am hoping to complete as soon as I'm done with all of these classes, and then actually present to my board, have them vote on it so that the teacher librarian that comes after me, or hopefully the teacher librarian that gets hired at our brand new high school that's being built, will have a code to live by and to work by. When I was writing this manual, my focus was on Dublin's philosophy. We are a district that is really focusing right now on diversity. We're focusing on bringing in different narratives, and I think that all of that's incredibly important. We do not have a step-by-step policy for book challenges. We have some general language, but I really wanted to take the opportunity that this class provided, LIB 720, and write some of that. So the manual includes Dublin High School's philosophy, and I think it's actually Dublin Unified School District's philosophy. I wanted to also pull in selection criteria. I think whenever you are challenged in a profession, it is empowering to have language that you can use when justifying your job. And right now, we really don't have that. So a lot of time went into the selection criteria. I'm fortunate enough to work with teacher librarians around me in the surrounding cities. And so definitely I pulled from them and asked them what was their criteria, what was board approved. And so with that in mind, I wanted to pull in some levels of criteria. And really, it is looking at the idea of intellectual freedom. Students should have the right to read differing opinions. Students should have the right to read books that will challenge them intellectually, maybe even read a book that is the complete opposite of the stance that they take on a subject. Because truly, in my opinion, that's where intellectual freedom is born. If you only have one set of information and one text to prove it, and that is it, there's no growth. There's no intellectual growth. So as far as understanding the code of conduct within the library, I think a big part is making sure that as a teacher librarian, I'm not self-censoring myself. Even if there is a book that might make me personally a little bit uncomfortable, if it needs to be in the library because it will educate students, then it needs to be in the library. And I think that that is so incredibly important. Going back to the manual that is attached to this, we did look at the philosophy, we looked at the selection criteria, and then also put in about ALA recommendations. We are fortunate, I feel, that as a library community, we do have backing from ALA that we should be able to pull in text that challenge and educate and push our students. And so I have a lot of language from that in there as well to showcase that the manual understands that students should have intellectual freedom and that students should have a space in the library where they can research and they are safe to do so, and also that their teacher librarian is there to help. And even if I do not agree with the stance that they want to take on an issue, that's completely fine because they have the right to research whatever they want. And I am there as someone to help them and aid them in their research, to give them multiple perspectives, and hopefully students walk away with a true education.